Alright, hello everybody, my name is Aiden and welcome back to another stream. The first time in a while we have a back-to-back to, Watchalong. In the last stream, in the last, couple of videos, we did a Chicago Bulls and Toronto Raptors Watchalong, which to be honest was absolutely not fun at all. And now we head into this game against Charlotte, away from home, another game, another day, and we're going to be, talking about this one in this stream. So yeah, let's wait and see what ends up happening. Before we get any further, if you enjoy the stream and you'd like to see more from me, feel free to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and let me know in the chat as we continue to pile, on, the minutes in and, the game's about to start and whatnot. Let me know what you guys think about, the game today. Do you think the Bulls have a chance to win? Do you think the Bulls need to respond? Do you think the Bulls will have a good second half? I mean, I have not been shy about discussing the Chicago Bulls and their second half performances. I really haven't been shy about it at all. I looked at the last 9 second half performances for the Chicago Bulls and we've only won 3 of them. That's pretty embarrassing to me as a team that's supposed to be at least in a 500 record. You'd expect to at least have half of them won. No, we've done very, very poorly in the recent stretch. And many would say it's actually started with this Charlotte Hornets team. If you actually consider, if you go all the way back to the first time we faced Charlotte till now, there is actually a lot of second half performances from then that just have been absolute letdowns. So there is a point to prove here. I'm just looking at the Charlotte Hornets starting lineup here. You got Miles Bridges, you got Nick Richards, Brandon Miller, Cody Martin, and Bryce McGowan's. So again, not necessarily their strongest starting lineup out there. The Bulls have Kobe, Io, Vucevic, Caruso, and DeMar DeRozan. We've got a 4-guard system to start this game. So that's going to be interesting as well for the Charlotte Hornets and for the Bulls. We'll see if that small ball system, that multi-guard system will work. Of course, no Patrick Williams in the lineup. Still no Torrey Craig in the lineup. Dalen Terry suffered an injury last game. So no Dalen Terry in the lineup either. And to instantly start the game, the Charlotte Hornets, we win the tip. But Charlotte get the ball. That's, again, that happened last game, I believe. And it happens today as well. So very, very interesting. Jimmy says, I hope the Bulls could play better defense and offense for all 4 quarters and have a better second half to win this game. I gave a like on your channel. Thank you very much, Jimmy. Look, the second half is going to be an intriguing one because I can't keep coming into these streams feeling so good and so confident coming into the first half, knowing that, one possession or one run from the Charlotte Hornets can blow it all down the drain, It's hard. It's hard to kind of think of it in that point of view. As Nikola Vucevic gets a jump hook to go to start off the game for the Chicago Bulls, the first 2 points in our possession. And we got Cody Martin missing a layup. DeRozan to Io. Io shoots the 3, and that's an air ball. Overshot that. Wildly overshot that. So we'll wait to see how this goes. Brandon Miller makes a 3 as Charlotte get the lead for the first time in the game. Brandon Miller has been a guy that has not impressed every time he has played the Chicago Bulls. Will this time be any different? DeMar DeRozan sinks a 3 as well. It's a long 2 according to the NBA. I don't know. That looked like a 3 to me. So they might change that. We'll have to wait and see. So the Bulls have made their first couple of shots here. And Charlotte have responded with equal, shot making here. I think 2 offensive rebounds for Charlotte, if I'm not mistaken. So, got to be very careful with that. Can't let that get out of hand. Vucevic misses a 3. Okay. Caruso drives to the rim. It looks like he's down. I don't know what's happened here, but it looks like AC is down. I think he just got hit in the head. I think he'll be alright. Okay. Vucevic to DeRozan, to Kobe. Kobe with the pick and roll. Gets blitzed. Good pass to AC for three. That is off. Rebound to Miles Bridges. Brandon Miller sizing up. Goes over the screen. Kicks it to Bridges. To McGowan. Martin fakes. Again, it's going to be isolation ball here for Charlotte now. Good defense in the end. The Bulls secure the rebound with DeMar DeRozan. DeRozan in the post with Miles Bridges guarding. Gets the spin. Misses the layup. An offensive rebound for the Bulls. Ayo shoots. And Ayo Dosunmu scores his first three of the game. He has come alive from the three-point line this season, ladies and gentlemen, and he knocks down his first one of the night. Martin shoots the three. That is off. Rebound Vooch. Caruso on the run. Caruso finds Vooch in the paint. Vooch with a jump hook. That's what we like to see. Alright. McGowan gets the layup. That's a nice little Euro step there. Okay, 9-7. It's been an interesting scoring display for both teams here. Charlotte's getting to the rim at will. With the Bulls also getting some easier shots. Let's go Bulls. Let's get a big win tonight. Yes, let's hope we do. Kobe White gets to the rim. High off the glass. And it falls in for Kobe White for his first point of the night. As you guys were well aware in the last game, Kobe White did struggle to play against the Toronto Raptors. Foul trouble got into the situation there, took him out of his rhythm. He definitely struggled in that last game. Of course, if the Bulls want to walk away with a win tonight, I definitely think a response is in order. And hopefully he could deliver a good game himself. It's something, again... Kobe White's the type of guy where he gets into a situation where he does struggle for a game. You're definitely in the belief system that he's gonna get out of it. He's gonna build himself out and have a strong game in the next one. Maybe a couple seasons ago, people would feel. I think a couple seasons ago, people would have felt that Kobe White wouldn't be able to respond after having a bad game. He would just have a bad run. I think he's turned into that type of player that knows how to respond to adversities. So we'll wait and see. It's a good start from him. It's a good start from a bunch of our guys offensively at least. Defensively, we really need to pick it up because they are absolutely working themselves to the paint. Is your league pass playing up or just mine? As of now, my league pass is not playing up. It always plays up every game, so I'm sure eventually it will, but not right now. Vucevic misses the midi. Miles Bridges with the save. Martin to McGowan, back to Miller. Brandon Miller trying to size up Caruso. Gets to the middle of the paint, and he gets a floater to go. And Brandon Miller's had a great start to his game. DeRozan to Vooch. Vooch to Kobe. Ayo in the corner, back to DeRozan. The ball movement is there. Kobe gets to the paint, and he gets the bucket. Nice little midi from Kobe White. Afternoon, my friends. 6:41 to go, 13-11. Brandon Miller gets to the rim again. This one rims out. Rebound to Nikola Vucevic. Alright, DeMar sizing up McGowan. There's a double team coming. He passes to Kobe. There should be someone open here. The passing is a little bit slow. Ayo gets to the rim. Finds Kobe open. Kobe to Vooch. And Vooch is missing badly. Hello, Tyler. I'm doing well. How are you? Stacey King has had enough with Nikola Vucevic already. The game's just begun. Vucevic has 4 points, to be fair, but both of them have been jump hooks in the paint. Every time he goes out to the three-point line, it seems like it's just not going well for him, if you know what I mean. Again, he's shooting a very low percentage of 27% from the three-point line. At the beginning of the season, it was actually worse than that. It was 24% from the three-point line. And I don't know why he keeps on shooting them at this point. I mean, surely there has to be an adjustment made where Vucevic could actually do what he does best, and that is the mid-range and in the paint. It's pretty self-explanatory, man. I mean, look how many teams don't have big centers on their team. You know, the Warriors, with the Raptors didn't have a big center on their team last game. The Charlotte Hornets have had Mark Williams out for a while. Like, I don't understand why we don't actually see Nikola Vucevic in the paint at all. Why he doesn't have post entries. I get it. Sometimes the Bulls players find it hard to pass to him. I feel like he doesn't want to fight hard enough in the post to get the ball. But come on. Like, I don't know. What do I know? I guess, I'm still stuck in the 2010 style of basketball, maybe, where the post game was just so well overused in many ways. But it's being underused for the Bulls, especially when we have a center of that size. Again, 80% of the league centers will not be able to guard Nikola Vucevic in the paint. I'm being honest. 80% of modern NBA centers, with the size advantages that Nikola Vucevic has against them, could not guard them in the paint. Maybe one every blue moon, but, Vucevic's got to get down there a little bit more. I do agree with Stacey King when he says that. So, hopefully we could see that adjustment, man. Hopefully Billy Donovan can just drive it in there. Hey, get to the paint. Let the other guy shoot the three. No one else, even DeMar DeRozan, is shooting a better percentage from the three-point line this season than Vucevic. So that should tell all. And DeRozan is not a three-point shooter. He ain't built like that every season, every game. So yeah, we need to really check our shot adjustments here, or our shot selection. Adjust our shots. No, you aren't stuck in the 2010s. Teams still do it, but the Bulls are undervaluing Vucevic's post-game. I don't know what it is. I kind of also get the feeling that Vucevic doesn't want to enter the post because it's hard work in the post. It's not an easy job to enter the post and bully people, bro. It's not an easy job. But I get the feeling... I just get the feeling that it's a I guess, a magnitude of the coach not wanting to enter the post and wanting to spread out the floor so guys like Kobe and DeRozan can get to the rim often. And Vucevic not wanting to enter the post because every time he fights in the post, he doesn't get the ball, so he just gives up. I don't know, but it needs to change. If you're going to get Vucevic involved in the offense, you have to put him in the post. Otherwise, get a center that can just shoot threes, bro. Get a Naz Reid or something that is a great three-point shooter, and that's all he provides. If that's all we're going to use Vucevic for. No Bulls fans is going to like what Casey Johnson said in the pregame. What did Casey Johnson say in the pregame? I never watched the pregame because I prefer to get that extra, 5 to 10 minutes of sleep. Vucevic with the fadeaway mid-range, and he got it to go. He said the Pistons team is wait, hold on. He said the only team to actually advance in Levine talks is the Pistons, and reiterated we're not getting a young player from them, and it will be based off expiring deals, and they're not keen to give up Bogey. If they can't even give up Bogey, what can they give up? What can they give up? Kobe White makes a three. I feel like Bogey's there. What, we're going to get Alec Burke? If we get Alec Burke, I will cry, bro. That's ridiculous. I don't know what else we could get from them. Some days I lose faith in this team. Some days, but not today. Let's hope the Bulls can deliver today. Terry Taylor's in the game for the Bulls. Again, we are going deep to the bench today. Again, no Dalen Terry to play in this game. He got hurt in the last game. No Patrick Williams, no Torrey Craig, no Zach LaVine, no Lonzo Ball. We are deep in the injury gutters, ladies and gentlemen. So, yeah, we're pulling out the big guns, Terry Taylor. That's when you know the Bulls are coming for it, bro. We got Terry Taylor in the game. Does that mean Drummond's not playing either? Vucevic is still in the game, so I don't know. I don't know about Drummond. Vooch in the post, finds Javon Carter. Javon with the fake, and then he shoots. He misses. And that's a rebound for Charlotte. Kobe is the future. I hope so, my friend. I hope so. I was watching a video just before coming into this stream about how Kobe White has turned into a star. It's an interesting story, if I do say so myself. Would you take a first rounder from the Pistons? I'll take a first rounder from anybody that can offer it at the moment. I mean, I just don't know what we could even get back for LaVine. But if a first is on the horizon, a first is what I'll take. It's as simple as that. AK is expected not to make a trade by the deadline, citing push for continuity. Well, if that's the case, don't expect Bulls fans to be happy with that. No Bulls fan is going to sit there and be happy with that. So, unless they want a barrage of social media Bulls fans tweeting AK out and AK is washed or whatever it's going to be, they need to make some changes and actually give belief, as Julian Phillips gets a putback, that something can change. Even if it's a small change, I think a change is warranted from this Bulls team if you want to go anywhere past the 9th seed. So, yeah, we'll wait and see. He also said, talks aren't very advanced yet. Let's see what happens towards the deadline. He just said, out of all the teams that called, Pistons were the only team who negotiated. But they want it done on their terms, not the Bulls' terms. Well, it's a give and take league. I think it's going to have to end up being on both terms. I don't want Zach LaVine to go for nothing. Like, that's just, I don't care if he has no trade value. I really don't care. If we're going to get, like, a random no-name that makes $2 million a season for Zach LaVine, that to me is not in the cards. We need to get some value for Zach LaVine. Something. If they're not willing to give up Bogdanovic, who I think is on an expiring deal, and I don't know if he actually is, but, like, that guy, he's very well aged. If we can't even get him, what do the Pistons really have to offer? Pistons aren't in a hurry to get LaVine. What would they do with LaVine? They'll be a mediocre team. I don't even see why they're in for LaVine. But if they're in for LaVine, we shouldn't get screwed out of a deal because of their terms. I'd rather keep LaVine than get mediocrity, in all honesty. So, yeah. Joe Harris, James Wiseman, and Monte Morris / Killian Hayes gets it done if they're doing it based on expiring deals. Can't see how the Bulls do that without getting picks back. We better be getting picks back if that's the deals we're getting. Joe Harris is absolutely... I've not seen anything good from Joe Harris since leaving Brooklyn. James Wiseman is a guy that's not even going to play here. We've got Drummond, we've got Vucevic, and I would even say Adama Sanogo's probably in line over a James Wiseman. I think he's actually playing a little bit now for Detroit, but I don't think anyone's been impressed with him. Monte Morris, Killian Hayes, hey... Yeah, we need some picks, bro. Bogey isn't expiring. Yeah, I think he was last season, and he actually re-signed with them, if I'm not mistaken. So, we need a pick back. That would be a joke if that's all we get in return for LaVine. You may as well buy LaVine out at that point. Just buy him out, bro. If you're not even going to get a pick back, those guys are not going to make a difference for the Bulls. None of them. Also came out today that the Rockets are interested in Andre Drummond. I think there's going to be quite a few teams interested in Drummond. The fact that he makes $3 million and he's producing very well off of our bench, don't be surprised that teams will be looking at him as a cheap but also very productive option to come off of their bench or to even start for some teams. I wouldn't say for the Rockets, but, you know, don't be surprised if there are teams coming in there being interested in Andre Drummond. And again, you got to treat Andre Drummond like you treat any other team player on this Bulls team. If the right deal comes around, if nothing comes around if the right deal comes around for the Bulls, then you listen to the deal, you take it. All right, Javon Carter makes a 3, 24-19. Doing nothing again is a total losing move. There's something has to be done, in my opinion. It's just that I don't want to get screwed out of a deal. I don't want Joe Harris on this team if that's the only thing they can do. Again, Joe Harris would not do anything for this Bulls team. He's not done anything for a while. You know? Terry Taylor minutes, yeah. Julian Phillips minutes as well. Alright, Brandon Miller sizing up. Drummond is playing, by the way. A 3-point shot made. Wow. 24-22 is the score. Get DH back in that Rockets uniform would be nice though, haha. The Bulls are playing good so far, but they're giving up too many easy shots. The Bulls have not played great defense to start this game at all. I mean, from the very beginning of the game, all you've seen is the Charlotte Hornets get to the rim for easy layups. It looks like Drummond, is that going to be an and one? I don't think it's an and one. But you've seen just the Charlotte Hornets get to the rim at will. I think the only thing that's keeping the Bulls well and truly in this game is that their shot making has been solid, except for Vucevic shooting threes. Other than that, they've just made better shots. But we're giving up easy ones here. And knowing our second half struggles, if you keep a team like Charlotte in the game, there's a good chance they're going to win it by the second half. So you got to take them out as soon as possible. Darnell Mayberry also reported that the Bulls aren't expected to make a trade at a deadline again. So it's like we are done for. I don't care about what other people expect the Bulls to do, in all honesty. Like, any report that suggests something like that to me is completely worthless because you don't know which teams are going to be desperate, which teams are not going to be desperate. You don't know if the Bulls are going to have a split-second decision-making thing to do. We don't know any of these things. So I don't really care what other people report about the Bulls. I'll care about it February 9th. When February 9th comes around, and if the Bulls do nothing, that's when I'll care about other people reporting it. Until then, don't take anybody that reports anything about the Chicago Bulls as factual news. Because it's not. Because you just don't know. Anything can happen last second. We know this from trade rumors. Especially. We know this from trade rumors. We know this from free agency signings. Everything can happen with a blink of an eye, click of a finger. So I'm not going to take what anybody says about we're not expected to make trades. I don't believe in any of that. We'll wait and see when the time comes. Well, we still got a week. Anything can happen in that time. But trust me, there will be backlash from Bulls fans. And I can't defend it. I'm not going to sit here and defend AK if he makes no moves again. I can't defend it if they make no moves whatsoever. So we'll see. Early play-in exit, anyone? Well, if we're in the 9th seed, we only have one chance. We have one shot, one opportunity. Will we capture or let it slip, as Eminem likes to say? You know, we got one loss and we're out of there. So it just depends. Do you want your season to end early? Do you want an early vacation? Or do you want to see the Bulls get eliminated in the first round? It's going to be one of those two things. Which one would you rather have? I'd rather the Bulls get into the playoffs just for the sake of me being interested in the playoffs. But we're not really going to get further than that. Unless we're going to pull a Miami. Oh, wow. Wow. Ish Smith makes the 3 at the buzzer. Alright, the first quarter comes to an end and the Bulls up by 1. 28-27 is the score after the first quarter. I mean, we can't really even excuse that. That's just a good shot from Ish Smith at the end. I mean, it was well defended. The time was expiring. He just had to chuck it up, and he did, and he scores. Not really too much else to say about that. We'll see what ends up happening in the second half, in the second quarter, if the Bulls could deliver a better game or not. But it's going to be incredibly frustrating if we give this up in the second half. I'm watching the second half like a hawk, by the way. My eyes are going to be glued to that screen because I do not want to see the Bulls lose this second half again. I do not want to... Again, it's a vocal point at this point. They've got to get the job done in the second half. It's as simple as that. Early play-in, exit anyone. We've said that already. If we lose, I give up on the season. Again, if we lose, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say I give up on the season because I don't see an avenue where we really fall drastically down in the standings, especially with the teams below us. I mean, the teams below us are losing a lot of games. So I see us in the play-in tournament. I think I wouldn't necessarily say this as a fact because injuries can play a factor. I actually believe we are pretty close to a lock to be in the play-in tournament this season. Whether we advance into the 8th seed and the 7th seed, or whether we fall to the 10th seed, I'm pretty certain we're going to be the play-in. We're a play-in team. You know, I can't see us falling out of the play-in tournament. Maybe it happens. I can't see it though. So, you know, as long as we're in that tournament, there is something to watch. There is something to be hopeful about. Whether it's like short-term hope, if you know what I mean. You know, okay, you're in a playoff atmosphere type of game for one game, maybe two. And it's going to be definitely short-term. So, yeah. This inconsistent team is damaging my health, losing so many easy games. Yeah, remember the so-called second easiest schedule in the NBA? It doesn't matter how easy we have it if we keep on losing to these teams and we keep playing down to opponents' levels. Doesn't matter how easy it is. Again, we have beaten the teams like Milwaukee, who are like second in the East. We have lost to the Detroit Pistons, who are dead last in the East. That's our level. We're just an average team. And an average team can lose to the worst and can beat the best sometimes. We're competitive. We compete with most teams. But it doesn't mean we beat most teams. We still have a minus 500 record at the end of the day. A nice backdoor cut for Brandon Miller. And he's going to go to the foul line. He's been pretty much the Hornets' most impressive player, I believe, to start this game. Look, this is definitely a different Brandon Miller we have seen from our very first time seeing him. Basically being a guy that's shy to shoot, early chucks up threes, not necessarily shooting well efficiency-wise. Today, a lot more movement from Brandon Miller, a lot more mid-ranges, a lot more attacking the paint from Brandon Miller. He's playing well. I'm impressed. I mean, he's averaging 15 points per game, which is something I didn't even expect that. And he's third in terms of the Rookie of the Year race. So, yeah, interesting. Did you see the report where the Bulls are making any moves from the deadline? A couple of people mentioned it earlier in the stream. All I'm going to say is I don't believe anything that anyone reports about the Bulls making a trade or not making a trade. I will never believe anyone that reports the Bulls are not making a trade because they are not the Bulls and they do not know what happens at the last split second of a trade deadline. They don't know the desperation that comes with that from the Bulls and from other teams. They don't know any of that. We could see the Bulls make a trade. I refuse to believe anyone that says the Bulls will not, and they make an emphasis on will not, make a trade. That, to me, makes absolutely no sense. But I also won't believe anyone that says the Bulls will make a trade because we don't know what the Chicago Bulls are going to do. We've said it for years. The Bulls work in silence. They are not revealing their secrets to any reporter. So don't believe any reporter that says anything about the Chicago Bulls team. It's as simple as that. We will know February 9th. February 8th is when the trade deadline closes. So as soon as February 9th comes around in America, probably February 10th for me, you will know if the Bulls did any business or not, and then we'll react to it from there. But how many times have you seen trades happen in the blink of an eye? A trade that you expected to happen. Trades you don't expect to happen. All the time. No one expected OG Anunoby and RJ Barrett trade. No one expected it, unless you're probably a Raptors and Knicks fan. So I wouldn't believe any report that comes out like that, even if it is credible. He didn't really say not making a trade, but he reported that they're expected to keep their main core. But they also said, but that also could be a bluff deliberately to make it look like they're happy and not desperate. It could go either way. Again, we don't know the purpose of the reports. I didn't read it, so I don't want to put words in people's mouths and saying they're absolutely not making a trade. But if the reports are they're less likely to, it's up to you to believe that or not. I'm going to choose to believe that anything can happen at the trade deadline. That's what I'm going to believe. What's going on, my friends? If the Bulls don't make any moves this season, is going to be another wash as usual. It could be. But it's not like we're out here the fourth team in the Eastern Conference, are we? We definitely have to make a move. I mean, even teams above us have made moves this season. You know? So it's kind of like, if you want to compete, you have to make moves. If you want to tank, you have to make moves. There's no other way around it. Staying the same, trust me, staying the same will not go well for the Bulls, for the Bulls in general. Their PR team is going to be in an absolute nightmare mode. Every tweet that the Bulls are going to tweet out about the Chicago Bulls, about winning a game, losing a game, about these certain players' quotes, it's all going to be comments about how they did absolutely nothing. They're not going to want that. So again, I do feel something could happen, but that's just me. Okay, we've said that one. To quote a legend about the Bulls front office, sometimes may be good, sometimes... Yeah, I agree. I mean, look, they brought this team together, and it works for a season. So that was the good part. The bad part is they don't want. They're too. It's like they're too in love with this team. They just can't see, I guess, that changes need to happen. You can't. You're blinded by love in many ways. I just can't see the Bulls making a trade with imminent return of NBA elite superstar Torrey Craig next game to salvage our season. Wow. Our superstar's coming back, Torrey Craig, averaging 16 points off the bench. 16 points and a half. Remember that game? I think it was against the Heat. He had 16 points and a half and then he got hurt. Yeah, we miss our 16-point per game, Torrey Craig. Deadline less than 10 days? Exactly. We're going to know a lot. We will know a lot by the deadline. You also got to consider the buyout market, but if we're going to go for the buyout market again, I'm still not going to be happy with this team. It has to be the best buyout I've ever seen for me to be satisfied with just pursuing the buyout market. Anyway, we've missed a lot of this second quarter here. The Bulls are only up by 2. 35-33 is the score. I can't really explain what's going on with this Bulls team at the moment today. I look at the score, 35-33 seems like a fairly low score, but every time I'm looking up, I'm seeing Charlotte either at the line or getting easy layups at the rim. And I don't really know what the Bulls are doing offensively, but we see DeMar DeRozan at the line right now, so let's hope he can make 2, extend it to 4 points. It'd be funny if they reunited Lowry and DeMar. It's a possibility, I'm telling you now. I mean, Lowry's on this team, is he not? Kyle Lowry? Have we seen him? Is he hurt? I don't know what's happening there. I'm pretty sure Lowry got traded to this team. And the Heat ended up getting Scary Terry. Which is a good deal for both teams, I would say, because Charlotte's rebuilding anyway. No need to have Scary Terry on their team. And the Heat get a better production player. But I genuinely think it's a possibility. DeMar DeRozan makes a 3. 30, it's going to be 40-35. Timeout for Charlotte. But let me ask you a question. Do you think Kyle Lowry changes anything for this team? Like, does Kyle Lowry make us any better? Does Kyle Lowry make us any worse? I think Kyle Lowry could just be a Javon Carter replacement, if anything. Does that necessarily make us a massively better team? I personally don't think so. I think if you get Kyle Lowry, it's just to make DeMar DeRozan happy. I'll be honest. So, yeah. I don't know. Something I'd like to ask people, though. Are you fine with players like Phillips, Dalen, Io being included in deals that are mainly about Zach, DeMar, and Drummond? Some of them, look, we're going to have to make sacrifices. We are going to have to make sacrifices. If you're talking about individual players, I wouldn't really trade Julian Phillips yet because there's a lot of unproven stuff about him. Dalen Terry, I think, is up in the air, in all honesty. I think Dalen Terry is a guy that some people would like traded. Again, even after Dalen Terry's stint on the bench when he's playing well, there are a bunch of people on social media saying that Dalen Terry's just not good enough. So I just don't know what's going to happen with Dalen, and I think Io will not be traded either. But sacrifices will have to be made. You never know what could be on the horizon. As far as I'm aware, the only thing for me that would be classified as untouchable for the Bulls is Kobe White. I don't want to trade Kobe White this season. He's 23 years old. He's really turned into an all-star level player, in all honesty, and there's potential for him to rise even above that. But again, potential is a different thing to actually letting it happen. I want to see how Kobe White progresses before we make any decisions on him. But other than that, I do believe everybody else is up for trade. You know, if the right deal comes around for any of them, you have to listen to that. So yeah. It won't be after the deadline. You'll get Lowry. Hornets want to try everything to flip him. It's possible, yes. The rumors were at the very beginning that they are looking to trade Kyle Lowry. I don't know who's going to be interested in a trade for Kyle Lowry, to be honest. But if he ends up getting bought out, I can really see the possibility of the Bulls doing that. And it scares me in many ways because it's not the right deal that we should be going for, but I don't think he makes us drastically better or drastically worse, and it makes DeMar DeRozan happy. So what can I do about that? I don't know. Alright. He wouldn't do much. He would not start over. No way. No way we are, no way Kyle Lowry will start over Kobe. That's a joke. I think people are overestimating what Kyle Lowry actually does for a team these days. He's an okay player, but he's not starting. He is not starting for the Chicago Bulls. No chance. Experienced vet that can facilitate and space the floor. He's just up in age. He also has a pretty big injury record as well to his name. He was injured last season as well. Drummond gets the slam. That's a mean poster from Andre Drummond. But also, again, he's a locker room leader. We might need something like that. I think he's a very vocal guy. He brings toughness to a team that sometimes lacks an identity. I don't know. He's definitely better than Javon Carter. And I would take him over Javon Carter, but would that be okay to sacrifice guys like Io's minutes for a guy like Kyle Lowry? You know? Io DeSumo is having a great stretch of basketball right now. Playing really, really well. You have to ask yourself this question, because if Kyle Lowry comes, he's going to play more than Javon Carter would. So is that okay with you? Are you okay sacrificing guys like Io DeSumo's minutes, or even Dalen Terry or Julian Phillips' minutes, or potentially Alex Caruso's minutes? If you're okay with that, then bring him in. Welcome aboard. But if it's not worth it to you guys, then I don't know why bringing him in except just to make DeMar happy. I really don't. I'm not giving up young players unless for a star or another good young player. I feel like a lot of people are very protective over our young guys, and I like that. I like the Bulls' protectiveness over their youngsters. But again, I'm not I don't want Julian Phillips to get traded. I think Io, for the right deal, could get traded, but again, I think we're gonna have to win that trade dramatically to do that. And I think Dalen Terry could eventually be traded as well. But right now, I just don't want Julian Phillips traded. I don't want Io traded either, but I think it is possible since he's been in the league for a while. It can happen. But it's good that our fans are very protective of our young guys. That's how it should be. We should be protective. We should be very supportive of our young guys. It won't be easy to pry them away from this Bulls team. To be honest, if we get Kyle Lowry on this Bulls team, it would make a huge difference for the Bulls. I can't see him making a huge difference. I really can't. I like Kyle Lowry, but I can't see him making a difference on this team. Not no, I can see him making a difference, not a big difference. He's not going to push us from 9th seed to, let's say, 6th seed, for example. He's just not going to do that for us. He won't play enough minutes to do that for us, and we need a team of another superstar. If we want to get from the 9th seed to the 6th seed, for example, we need another superstar on this team. Yeah, like, it just doesn't make sense. He won't make the biggest difference, in my eyes at least. I could be wrong. He could come into this team, average 15 points a game like he did for the Raptors, and everything's right with the world. We found our next superstar at 30, whatever years he is, and we go and compete. But I don't think he makes the world of difference, to be honest. Alright, tell me, when you say you're not giving up young guys, what would they do in the Bulls teams that are notorious for not developing players? It'd be better with veteran proven players. Look, we need to change that identity. It's not the problem of we don't develop players. That shouldn't keep us from trying to develop players. It's about shifting our identity to developing players. I mean, you're a Miami Heat fan. So you're naturally known for developing hidden gem players. You find hidden gem players and you develop them in Heat culture. That is the type of thing that we need to do as a Chicago Bulls team. We have to get these young guys that do have potential. Julian Phillips looks like he has some solid potential to be a bench option. Patrick Williams had potential to be a superstar. Io has the potential to be a solid role player as a point guard. Kobe has potential to be a starting point guard in this league. There's potential all over the place for the Chicago Bulls. We need to be the team that capitalizes on potential and actually takes advantage of the potential rather than waste it. We shouldn't just say, oh, since we don't develop teams, we shouldn't try. Otherwise, you'll never win any championship with that mindset. Oh, we don't develop players, so we're just going to trade every young guy that we have. No, we shouldn't be doing that. It should be developing players with the addition of signing veterans in free agency. That's how you get championship teams. It's not as simple as selecting people from the draft and developing them, but it's also not as simple as signing everybody on max contracts. It has to be a balance there. It's very hard to win a championship, put it that way. Lowry on 30 million, Carter on 6 million. Give me Javon Carter every day of the week. If we get Kyle Lowry, it won't be from a trade, it'll be a buyout. 100% Charlotte will buy him out, and then we'll probably get him for like 2 million or something. Whatever money we have to throw at him, we'd probably throw at him. But yeah, I would take Kyle Lowry over Javon Carter if it was a buyout option. If it's a trade option, stay away from Kyle Lowry. We don't need 30 million on this team. 30 million, we might actually see the ownership pay luxury tax. That'd be pretty interesting. But yeah, that's not happening. We need a OG type wing. He actually is the perfect archetype player. Well, we missed that opportunity now, didn't we? Charlotte have the lead, ladies and gentlemen. A 3 was made. I don't know who made it. But 45-44 is the score, and Charlotte have the lead. Their bench points has doubled the Chicago Bulls bench points. So, there you go. I'm completely against Lowry. Waste of a roster spot. He would be our worst guard. And yet again, another player position we don't need. He offers nothing we don't already have besides a big booty. Well, there you go. Jordan speaking his mind out there. Again, I don't see Kyle Lowry making the massive difference. I really see the biggest positive of getting a Kyle Lowry is the vocalness in the locker room, being a vocal guy. He's always been a guy in my eyes that's willing to give advice. And I think, that could always help a point guard like Io and Kobe. That will always help them. But in terms of production, I don't see massive production value from Kyle Lowry anymore. But it could just be to keep DeRozan happy. I don't know what it is. I really don't know. This could be a bargaining chip to re-sign DeRozan. How am I supposed to know what the Bulls are thinking? They could be saying if we sign Kyle Lowry to a bench option deal, that could make DeRozan sign a cheaper deal for us. It could go either way. I really don't know what's the mindset of getting Kyle Lowry, but I can see it happening. I see the Bulls being the team to be, hey, Kyle Lowry's in the buyout market, guys. Hey, we may as well go after that. Another guard, let's go. Another guard that, tries to play some defense. We can do that. But they don't have the system for that. The Heat system is very different. We don't really develop them to become better players overall. We make them systems players. No one succeeds outside the Heat. Well, again, whether it's no one succeeds outside the Bulls or we develop superstars, we need to have a radical shift in how we approach that. It shouldn't be one or the other. It shouldn't be get all veterans and that's going to be our team for the next 10 years. Because you're not going to get... Again, look at every team that's just veterans. You need some young guys that is worth developing in your team. Some young guys that has potential to kind of take the reins in the future. You need that guy on your team. You know, it's very rare to be a Warriors where they drafted everybody on their team when they won the first championship. It is very, very hard to be a Warriors. But it's also very hard to be a Lakers, where the Lakers literally could get any free agent at the blink of an eye. They could get anybody from free agency, you know, because everybody wants the bright lights of the Lakers, a very well-respected organization, and it's beautiful. You know, it's a beautiful place to be, Los Angeles. You know, you can't have it like that, especially for a Bulls team. It's very cold in Chicago. People are not going to come here for the weather or how beautiful it looks, but at the same time, if we don't develop players, you become not good at anything. You become pretty average at both things. And that's where I think we are. So we need to have that shift. There's a saying that I'm trying to think about when it comes to something like that. I guess the saying is, if you try to become... No, that's not the saying. I don't know what the saying is. Just leave it at that, I guess. Young talent will make will make this a trade destination. We don't need a retirement home. Well, that's an interesting point as well. Realistically, would you guys have been fine if we were never a win-now team in 2021, and instead the Bulls organically and build it organically instead, like some of the other younger teams, because the Bulls want to do that. But the roster spot has a lot of flaws / holes. I think it's a lose-lose situation. If we didn't trade for Vucevic, DeRozan, Lonzo, we would have never had the first season with them that we had, which was, of course, a season that everybody was so happy with until, obviously, the injuries came. But now, 3 years later, it's pretty much we're in that situation that we were with that younger team, with Lowry, with Wendell, with, guys like Chris Dunn in there and whatnot. We're in the same situation, to be honest, except we're older now. So it's a lose-lose situation. I still don't think we would have got the best out of Lowry. So again, yeah, I think we'd be trying to fight for the 8th seed with both teams. I guess one of them has a better future and the other one doesn't. This one doesn't have a better future. It is what it is. What would I rather have? I think I would have rather had this team with Lonzo Ball in it in the first season, and hopefully it could have continued. I would have rather have seen that than, I guess, sticking with the younger team, but also sticking with this team now with all the injuries that it has. I guess that's my answer. Anyway, Bulls always want a retool, not a rebuild, and a retool is always in the middle. You're going to have to... Look, we've done rebuilds before. We've traded Jimmy Butler. We've traded Derrick Rose. We've traded superstar players for rebuilds. The Bulls are... Again, we're not like the Pistons or the 76ers. Remember the 76ers a while back were bad for like 10 years before they actually got Joel Embiid and whatnot. We're not that level of rebuilds, but the Bulls rebuild every 5 years, it feels like. It feels like we get a good team, it doesn't work, alright, we rebuild. We get a good team, it doesn't work, alright, we rebuild. That seems to be the Bulls' mindset. It's not a retool. I very rarely see the Bulls retool. A retool to me is, alright, Carlos Boozer doesn't come back for the Bulls, go and sign Pau Gasol. That's a retool. That's how I view a retool. We don't often do that. Miles Bridges gets the layup, and this is getting ugly for Chicago right now. It's a double-digit lead for the Charlotte Hornets, 57-47. The Bulls have 6 turnovers in the game. A post hook missed by Vooch. It's all going downhill from here. What is up with Javon Carter? He looks completely washed. I was excited when we signed him. It's the hype of signing a player that we don't know much about. It's the hype of signing and just having a signing in general. He just hasn't fit. He just hasn't fit. It's sad, but he hasn't fit. Kobe with Lowry could have been interesting. I think if they're both developed, if I think people might misinterpret me when I talk about Larry Markkinen. If we use Larry Markkinen to his fullest capabilities, him and Kobe White would be a fantastic offensive duo. The pick and pops we could see, the post entries we could see, the fact that Larry Markkinen can dribble the ball at his size is pretty fantastic. But the problem is we never use Lowry to his fullest potential. We use Lowry as a corner sitter, as a pick and pop guy. We never actually used Lowry the way that he was intended to be used. He's very quick for a 7-footer. He could beat guys off the dribble. He could beat guys in the off-ball movements. He's a very good pick and roll player. He's good in the post. He can shoot the 3. We never used Lowry to his fullest capabilities. So right now, if we use Larry Markkinen to his fullest capabilities, let's say in a hypothetical world, we traded for Larry Markkinen, right? And we used him well. We used him the way that he should be used. It would be fantastically interesting. It'd be amazing. But if you're talking about the 2021 Bulls team when we had Larry off the bench, it would not be interesting because we've already seen it. If you know what I mean. Current Kobe, of course. Yeah, I understand. Hornets are building up the lead. Yeah, they are. The Bulls are at the line here to try and bring it to a 7-point game, I believe. Or 8-point game, actually. It's not looking pretty out there. With everything the Bulls team has been through, being a Bulls fan back in the 90s was a great time to be a Bulls fan. Man, if only I was there. It's a two-edged sword. It's a two-edged sword being born in 99. You don't see any glory from the Bulls, but you also had the potential to see future glory for the Bulls. I don't know. I don't know. It hurts. What would you say if Billy gets let go and you get Budenholzer? I don't think any veteran coach... I mean... I feel like if the Chicago Bulls were going to get rid of their coach, they need to find a young coach with actually a modernized version of basketball. I'm not really interested in when Doc Rivers was an option and people were saying we should go get Doc Rivers. I never wanted Doc Rivers. You know what I mean? Like, I want a new coach with a new style. I want not necessarily a Fred Hoiberg type of coach, but a coach with a similar background, a coach that has new ideas, a modern coach, something that can bring something new to the table to this Bulls team that is desperately needed. I wouldn't necessarily want a veteran, already proven coach for this team, because that's what we've always done. Well, not necessarily, but, like, I don't know. I kind of feel like with a young team, I would want a modernized coach. Kobe White gets absolutely wrecked on that screen, and Cody Martin commits the foul there. Kobe will go to the line for 2. It makes sense. It makes sense. You wonder what if we could have gotten for players like Mobley, Barnes, Kuminga, Wagner, Sengun, Bones, Cam Thomas, Paolo, Chet, Ivy, Matherin, Shea Sharp, Duran, Mark Williams, Kessler. I mean, we've missed out on a lot of guys.